When there's so much to do in your home with your homestead and your children each day, how do you find time to be still? Even when you want to slow down, something always needs your attention. So, how do we pursue stillness, not as another task, but as a rhythm that sustains our soul? Today, that's what we will be exploring here at Simply Living Homestead. Welcome to Simply Living Homestead, where we empower homesteaders and preserve traditions. I'm your host, Amanda Carlin, and I help homesteading families bring peace and order to their lives. My friend, are you overwhelmed with all the tasks on your homestead? Do you wish for a mentor to guide you through the tough moments each day? Then you've come to the right place. Together, we will learn to organize our homestead, love our families well, and walk in the peace of God. If you're ready to get unstuck from the constant feeling of overwhelm, then join us each week as we explore practical advice, inspiring stories, and heartfelt encouragement to help you thrive. Let's grow a sustainable, meaningful life together, both in the home and on the homestead. If you're enjoying the podcast, I'd love if you'd take a moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps more homesteaders find us. And don't forget to join our newsletter for monthly farm updates, behind-the-scenes stories, and some of our favorite homestead recipes. Just head to simplylivingHomestead.com or click the link below to get signed up. Are you in central Iowa? Are you looking for raw milk? Simply Living Homestead has open subscriptions for fresh raw milk here at the beginning of May. If you haven't already, I encourage you to get signed up for our wait list so that you will be notified as soon as openings are opening up. We're rolling some out every couple of weeks here until the cows have all given birth, and so click the link below to get signed up for our wait list for fresh raw milk. Hey friends, welcome back to the homestead. This episode isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about creating space in your heart and home for what truly matters. Whether it's Bible study, quiet reflection, or simply sitting with your tea and watching the chickens peck, let's talk about how to build these pauses into real, messy, busy life. When I first started what I kind of consider my content creation journey as an adult. As a child, I did some blogging under a pen name, but when I became an adult, I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I thought I wanted to blog. That is what I had done as a child, and I was like, oh, I can do that. I'm a writer. I can do that. And so I launched Simply Living Homestead. I felt like that was a name that the Lord had given me. And I was like really struggling with a lot of things in my life at that point. But one of the big things was just this like feeling of overwhelm and fatigue, and just I wanted to do all the things. I wanted to I wanted to hang out my laundry on the line, and I wanted to make sourdough, and I wanted to do all these things that I actually didn't know or have the skills to do. And I had been struck with this thought of mindfulness where, like the thought of just like stopping and just being more aware of your surroundings, which for the record, I still really, I feel drawn to that concept, but it has morphed and changed over time. And just thinking back, 2.5, 3 years ago when I was first doing that, I thought maybe I could write on the subject, even though I was still really struggling with it. And on my blog, I created this printable for mindfulness. And honestly, like, ChatGPT didn't exist at that point, but I really feel like it wasn't any better than like a crappy version of something that AI could have written, because I think there was like 15 things on it, and it was really just like stop and when you're walking past a bed of flowers, stop and smell them for a second, or breathe in deeply when you're hanging out your clothes. And it was like things like that where maybe they are good thoughts to practice, right? But they weren't actually helpful. Fortunately, I don't think very many people downloaded it. if I go back into my like analytics and whatever, I think maybe 5 people have that. It's definitely not worth your time. I have since taken it off the blog. But when it really truly comes to finding time to be still, like creating time to be still, as homesteaders, as moms, as, people that have a lot of people that are depending on them, and a lot of processes and systems and activities and stuff that rely on you, it's not something that you're going to just find time to do. And even if you do happen to have time to do it, without intention, you're not going to do it. And at least for me, that's what I found. We just got back from a almost 3-month break. It was like 10 weeks break from milking. And that freed up a good 5+ hours a day in my life. And I was just like, oh, this is great. I'm going to do all this, like this Bible study. I like ordered a like a Bible study booklet that you can write in. And I did okay for the first little while, but without that intentionality, that routine of giving up and all of those things, like I just didn't do it. And so as I sat down to write this podcast, my notes for the podcast, that's just what I was thinking about, was how like this has a lot to do with intentionalness. And it's not just a very basic, let's stop and smell the flowers. So let's get into it. Why is creating time to be still important? Stillness isn't laziness. It's an obedience and a trust that by taking time to dedicate to the Lord, to being still and quiet, you are still going to have the time to do the things that your brain is freaking out that you have to do. I've heard this described like in tithing, where if you don't have enough money, like you don't feel like you have money to tithe, that's one of the best times to tithe, because it's laying things out before the Lord to say, Lord, you've got this. Like, you're going to take care of the bills. I'm going to give you this money that I have. And stillness and taking that time is kind of the same concept, especially when it's a season of your life that's really busy. Taking time to just stop and say, God, I have got all this to do. What I need to spend time with you, and I'm going to choose to take that time to lay that. What I've found when I choose to do that is I actually can get more done. And it's got to be the Lord, because by all accounts, it doesn't make sense. God designed us for rest, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. Stillness gives God that space to speak. It anchors us in truth when life pulls us in 100 directions. And by having that anchor, that stillness, that little bit of time in your day to breathe, it gives you the space to take all of those other overwhelming things of life and like actually hold space for them as well. Rest, hobbies are all part of God's provision. He delights in our joy and our creativity and our stillness. So now that we've kind of covered why you should be looking at this, there's a lot of things that people can come up with. I mean, this is a Amanda is speaking from experience thing. Like, why you don't feel like you can take or make that time. I have 4 written down here. The first one is guilt. Feeling like you can't stop without everything falling apart. And we've talked about that a little bit, that, you don't feel like you have time to do that. In addition to that would be time scarcity. There's always something or someone that needs you. How can you find the time to do this? How can you make the time to do this? Another thing would be mental clutter. You can try and sit down, but your brain won't stop running a million miles a minute. And the fourth one is perfectionism, which is like taking your quiet time has to be a full hour with candles and perfect silence and whatever. I am not as much as I used to be. I have really been working on, I've said to a few friends, like, this is my year of open hands. Open hands, Amanda, open hands. But I understand what perfectionism is like, where you're sitting with that thing and you're going over it far too many more times because you think it needs to be perfect. So let's talk about how to make it happen. I don't really know how to address these common struggles, except to know that if you feel these things, I see you, I hear you. I am experiencing that too, and it's not something that you need to be ashamed of, that you are feeling those things. It's okay to feel those things. What's not okay is to let them stop you. So let's make it happen. First, let's start small. 5 minutes of silence in the morning. Set a timer, 5 minutes. 5 minutes of silence. Even if there's no scripture reading, no Bible study, nothing. Just practice 5 minutes of silence. If your kids are awake, practice it with them. Yeah, honestly, it's like, okay, we're going to take some time to just sit and listen. No, this isn't timeout, even though sometimes it might seem like it. As you can upgrade, maybe you've got 10 or 15 minutes, you can read some scripture, or you can put scripture on after you've sat and just sat before the Lord. Scripture on audio while you work, getting breakfast ready, whatever, is a great routine to have the words of life near you and just breathe through them. Another tip would be pair rest with rhythms. So have a cup of tea after chores, or knit while the kids play. Something where if you are like me and your hands need to be busy, they need to touch something. You can't see it. I'm sitting here at my desk and my elbows are on the desk and my hands are just moving in front of my face. Fortunately, I am not videoing this, or my hands would probably be very distracting to a lot of people. But my hands need to, they need to touch things and hold things a lot of times. When I was first really trying to set up my morning routine, my morning structure, I was finding it really hard to just sit and be quiet and pray. And I spent some time praying about it, probably not as much as I should have. But in that moment, I felt like it was okay if I was to crochet, as long as I was crocheting something that was mindless. So that I wasn't looking, oh, what's the pattern say? But something where it's just straight rows, my hand's doing the thing that it knows to do, just to keep my hands busy. So, that's always something that if you can't put it at the beginning of your day or the end of the day, building in that time, in that routine stack where you've got your habits, the things that you need to do, the routines that you need to do, they're all stacked on top of each other. And, well, after I'm done doing my hair for the day, I'm going to make a cup of coffee. And when the cup of coffee is made, I'm going to sit very quietly for 5 minutes. Let's all set a mindset of Sabbath, a Sabbath mindset. One day, or the very least, please take a few hours a week to pause from productivity. This constant state of do, be there, be there, be there. The Bible very clearly asks us for a day of rest. the Jewish people take this to a very, like, a big extreme. Like, you can't travel further than, like, it's a couple hours walk. Like, I don't remember exactly. Someone could definitely correct me on that, but it's not very far. And that was to keep them from doing anything that could be considered productive. Because you need to take that time and just to rest and be still. Growing up, my family really, we got to play as kids on Sunday afternoons. My parents took naps. But if I tried to do anything that could be considered something that I, really would be doing during the week, it got frowned upon. I wanted to sew one day, and it was just sewing for the sake of enjoyment, but my mom was not happy about it because she's like, "Amanda, that's work." And she might have had a point to that to a certain degree. Point 4 that I have written down is let go of the ideal. This kind of ties back into that perfectionism. It won't always be quiet, and that's okay. God can meet us in the noise as well. Just when I first, I told that story about how I, thought that mindfulness was just breathing through that. And I think to a certain extent it is. If you're in this season where it's absolutely like almost impossible to get to this place of stillness, but I think we can strive for it, and I think it is more than just breathing through and giving yourself space to be quiet. Okay, 2 more points here, and then I've got some scriptures to send us off with. 2 other things that you could do to help create a space that feels like one that you can stop and be still in is to create a small stillness space, a chair, a basket, a favorite blanket, like a basket of maybe your crochet stuff, maybe some Christian books, literature, or whatever. Things that you can use to just be still and just meditate. Meditate on his scriptures, meditate on the words that he is giving you. Pray a short prayer. I am still horrible. I'm absolutely horrible at prayers in general. I am learning. I am getting better at them. They were honestly something that scared me for a long time, and that's kind of a different podcast. I won't go into that too much. But they're not very long. I have found that I am better if I write them out. If I write my prayers, and I just kind of pray them as I'm writing them. Sometimes I'll stop and I'll read them back. But even just doing that in the morning, if I don't have time for a Bible study or something, to just sit and like quick journal a prayer. Lord, I'm struggling with this. Help us with this. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you for this day. And, kind of working through that. Last thing, I have mentioned this up in one of the other points, but invite your kids in. Stillness isn't just for grown-ups. We can teach them by example. And if we are always doing our Bible studies and all that sort of thing before they ever wake up, they'll never know that you ever did them. I think of my dad. I know he brushed his teeth. I know that as an adult. I did not know that as a kid. I don't believe I ever saw my mom and dad brush their teeth. We were always in bed before they did. And so it was like always really hard. Well, why do I have to brush my teeth? Because you don't ever do it. And so leading by example in this creation of stillness. My 4-year-old is still quite the cuddle bug. And if he wakes up while I'm still doing it, okay, come up on the lap. We're going to sit quietly and we're going to Mommy's writing here. She's writing a prayer, and telling them what I'm doing, and then kind of expecting them to honor that space that you're creating. They will fall into line. Most children do, at least. So those are the thoughts that I have on creating stillness. As we go here, I have 5 scriptures that I would like to read to you. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Exodus 33:14. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Luke 5:16. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Ecclesiastes 3:11. There is a time for everything, a time to be silent and a time to speak. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Friend, I hope this episode gives you permission to breathe a little deeper today. Stillness isn't just a luxury, it is a lifeline. God meets us not where everything is perfect, but in the middle of our messy, ordinary lives. Whether you find 5 quiet minutes in the morning, pause with your tea in the afternoon, or breathe deeply while folding laundry, these moments matter. If this episode spoke to you, share it with a friend who might need the reminder too. And if you'd like to suggest a topic for a future episode, like so many of you already have, leave a review or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, may you find space to be still and know. Well, neighbor, before you head out, I just want to say how much I've loved spending this time with you. If you too enjoyed our time together, don't forget to give us a follow and leave a quick review on your favorite podcast player. It really helps more women like us find their way to a simpler, more joyful life. And hey, if you know someone who'd enjoy this episode, why not share it with them? Let's keep growing this circle of encouragement together. Oh, and don't forget to join my email list. I've got some free printables and weekly tips waiting for you to help you live a purposeful, balanced life, one rooted right in the heart and home. Thanks for being here, friend. You're doing a great job. I can't wait to chat again next week here at the Simply Living Homestead.